Hi, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about how to use the patterns that are available on my website. And you don't have to use a pattern, but patterns are provided just as a teaching tool as you're learning how to make snowflakes. So most of the patterns are for 8.5-inch pieces of paper, meaning you start with an 8.5-inch square of paper before you fold it in order to get to this size. So if you print out a full-size print, you'll have enough for an 8.5-inch square paper. However, if you use the box folding template available on the website, then you're going to need to have a smaller print. So this, instead of a full-size, full-page print, this is like a 5x7 print so that it will fit on this smaller triangle. Now you don't need to print stuff out at all. If you want, you can just sketch the design on with pencil, or you can even go ahead and cut freehand. So for the beginners, I actually have a template on my website that has the pattern actually printed right onto the folding template. This one is the centered folding template, and what we're going to do in order to create this square piece of paper, we are going to go ahead and cut along both lines. And then once we have our square, go ahead and make sure the pattern side stays down, so don't cover it up as we're folding, but match the corner and the sides. Get your nice 45-degree points here, and then we're going to take those smaller points and put those together to do our fold number 2. And once we have that folded, again, we're going to turn it pattern side down. Use your fingernail to make a little crease here. And fold along line 3. On the second side, after we unfold 3, we're going to make sure that these two folds stay together. Make another little crease down here at the point, and pull up and line up with the crease that we just made from fold 3. And fold it right along fold 4. Now we go ahead and refold 3, and as we do so, we have to recognize that we're now going over 4 more layers of paper, and we need to recrease that fold. Okay, there we have our point, our paper all folded, and we have a nice point. We're ready to start cutting. So we're going to go ahead, and the simple line patterns, all you're able to cut from the outside into a point. I usually start towards the outside of the pattern and work my way in. Now if there was something that needed to be punched out with a paper punch, I would use the paper punch first. Now as you go along, you could go ahead and just cut straight across here, but I'm going to actually do a little bit more advanced cutting, I guess. You just practice skills. We're going to cut forward a little bit here, and then you're going to pause and turn the paper. Cut forward again. Pause and turn the paper. Cut forward again. Pause, turn the paper, and cut again to cut out that shaded portion. Now the reason I did that separately is because it's going to be a little 2-in-1. I'll show you in a minute. Make sure that you're looking for opportunities for 2-in-1s as you're making your snowflakes. I'm just going to finish cutting out this top. I usually leave the top on so that I can hold on to it as I'm cutting. That's just up to you. With this thicker paper, you can pull a little bit if it's stuck, but I do not suggest doing that with thinner paper, or you'll rip it and ruin your snowflake. Okay, so this is my favorite part. We get to unfold and see what the design turns out to be. Finished snowflake. So there we go. And you could go ahead and press that flat by putting it between some pages of a book, or we usually go ahead and glue them up onto the window, and we just flatten them out as we're gluing them up. Just a few dots of glue around so that they're easy to take off, and make sure it's water-soluble glue. And then the center one becomes a little 2-in-1 snowflake. I could add more details to it if I wanted to. And it could be displayed up on the window with it or on its own. Now I'm going to actually show you how I cut them out if they have the paper clips on them. Let's move these over to the side here. Paper clips can kind of get in the way a little bit, and like I said, a lot of times I like to leave a little bit more room when I'm cutting out the pattern so that there's a little extra paper on top to hold the paper clip. But I'm just showing you this so that you can see how to cut it out with the paper clips on it. You'll have to move the paper clips around as you're cutting just to keep them out of the way. It's always a good idea to test your paper before you start making snowflakes, just to make sure that you can cut through all 12 layers. So either you'll need better scissors or thinner paper if you're not able to go through all 12 layers. So again, I'm wanting to keep this center as a separate little snowflake. So I can do that. So instead of pausing and turning at the top, I'm going to come in from the other side. So hopefully you can see it a little bit better. I know with the other one my hand was a little in the way. Okay, and then just finish cutting out the top. And this time I'm going to actually add just a little more detail to this bottom piece. So I'm just going to make a little cut this way and a little cut that way, just so we can see a little detail in the center. So I'm going to go ahead and open this one up, so you can see. Makes a little bit of difference to the finished snowflake, just adding that little bit of detail in there. So whenever you're cutting a snowflake, if you end up with a piece that has folds on both of the long sides of the triangle, you can go ahead and turn that into an additional snowflake. So this one's a 2-in-1, but you could do a 3-in-1, just depends on what you want to do. Thank you for watching.